Hare Krishna. Rift from God makes us drift with the mind. A rift from God. We are all meant to be connected with God because we are His eternal parts. The Bhagavad Gita tells us in the 15th chapter, 7th verse, Mamaivaamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manah shasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. So, we are the parts of Krishna. Mamaivaamsho, we are His parts. But then Krishna says the same thing, jiva bhuta. When the living entities come in this world, then what happens to them? Manah shasthani indriyani, that with the senses and with the mind, prakritisthani karshati, struggle in this world. Now why does this happen? Because we are all inherently pleasure seeking, and God is the reservoir of all pleasure. And Bhakti Yoga enables us to connect with Krishna. And the more we are connected with Him, the more we relish higher spiritual happiness through that devotional connection. But when we become disconnected from Him, when there is a rift between us and God, then we can no longer experience higher spiritual happiness. Then our need for pleasure makes us look elsewhere. And where do we look then? We look towards the world. And the mind props before us various objects. Come on, try this. Come on, enjoy that. And in that way, we get captivated by one thing, the next thing and the next thing. And in that way, there is no end to our illusion. So the mind, when we are just disconnected from God, when there is a small rift, at that time the mind may not immediately give us a very sinful object to contemplate. It may just give us some alternative, which is saattvika. And then we take that. And a drift is something that happens gradually. A drift is not something which happens, drift is not exactly a storm, it's something which happens gradually. So like that, when we drift away from God, that is also often slowly. We turn from Krishna towards goodness. And then when goodness doesn't satisfy, then we turn towards passion. And then we turn towards ignorance. And in that way, we get degraded. So actually, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Atachet tamahankaram nashroshyasi vinangshasi. Atachet tamahankaram. So Krishna has told in the Bhagavad Gita in the 18 previous verse, in 18.58, that if you become conscious of me, Machittaha sarva durgani matprasadat tarishyasi. If you become conscious of me, you will cross over all obstacles by my grace. But then he says in this verse that if we don't become conscious of Him, rather if we think that I know better, that atachetam ahankaram nashroshyasi vinangshasi, that is what he tells in the second part of the 18.58. If you don't hear me, then you will be lost. And the next verse he says that yad ahankaram asritya, if you take shelter of ahankar, that means now the rift from God is caused because often we think that God is not good enough. I have my own plan. I know better than God how to find happiness in life, how to become successful in life. So atachetam ahankaram, so atha ahankaram ashritya nayotseti manyase. So nayotseti manyase. If you do not fight, now for Arjuna a specific duty is according to his Kshatriya nature is to fight. Mithyaisha vyavasayaste prakritistvam niyokshati. Mithyaisha vyavasayaste. Our determination, he says, your determination will get misdirected, and prakritistvam niyokshati, material nature will engage you. So material nature will engage us in ways that will be self-defeating and self-destructive. And by knowing that material nature is just waiting to pounce on us and to pull us down, we can stay connected with Krishna. We don't let anything create a rift between us and Krishna. And the wonderful thing about Krishna Bhakti is that we don't have to reject the mind and the nature that we have. We simply have to harmonize it. So Arjuna did not have to give up fighting. Arjuna simply had to give up the weak-mindedness which was there. So similarly, it's not that when we say that we have to, when we have to stay connected with Krishna, that doesn't mean we have to completely reject the mind. In the mind there is our basic swabhava, our nature. We do serve Krishna according to that nature. And in fact, when we serve Krishna according to our nature, we become very strongly and steadily and happily connected with Krishna. And further, when we turn away, and then the nature that we have, we use in Krishna's service. Rather than letting ourselves be independently controlled and impelled by the nature, we harmonize our nature with Krishna. And then rather than our nature creating a rift and make us drift away from Krishna, our nature makes us move towards Krishna and to become increasingly and joyfully devoted to Him. Thank you. Hare Krishna.